just kind of in a kind of a rough mood and maybe a little aggressive, kind of grouchy. And, I know what my Dutch grandmother would say. You're being ornery, ornery. And then she'd say, and don't forget to go wash your hands for dinner. What do you mean, wash my hands, Grandma? Wash your hands, yeah. No, you want me to wash my hands. No, wash them. Anyways, April's going to leave us, and we're going to get a May, and today is going to be a gorgeous day. Let's take a look at weather. It's brought to you by Laborers Local 41, of which I am a proud alum of that fine union. It's 38 degrees right now at the Strachan Van Til Studios here on the campus of Purdue Northwest. And we are going up to about 72 today, and some sunshine all day long. Maybe get some clouds later in the day, and then it gets cloudy overnight. And then tomorrow, high of 82, clouds and sun, and should be a gorgeous day today and tomorrow. We literally, you're going to be going from, what was it, last Monday? It was the last Monday. Was it 25 degrees in the morning? And then the Monday before that, it was 25 degrees in the morning when I was standing outside. Or at least, I think last Monday might have been 37, and then one before that was 25. So anyways, it's been very cold. And you've had to turn your heat on. In just a couple of days, you're going to go from heat to air conditioning in a hurry. And that's just how it is around here. You know, if you weren't so hardy of an individual, you would have had to move to a more temperate climate, but you chose to stay here, and this is what you get. And then by Wednesday, a high of 77 and cloudy. And then by Thursday, maybe a little bit of rain and a high of 74. And then Friday, some thunderstorms and a high of 70. And then by Sunday, it gets into the 60s next week. Your sunrise was at 5:45 this morning. Your sunset isn't until 7:45. You know, we're losing track of the fact that the days are so long right now. I mean, they're 14 hours long right now. And part of that is that typically, as the days get longer, it gets warmer. So we've been unable to follow that in an orderly fashion. But really, it's Alexis and I do our walks sometimes right around 5 o'clock, and we've been fighting the darkness over the winter. And now we do it at 5 o'clock, and still like 2-3 hours left of sunshine. The humidity today about 55 miles an hour. Really no wind. It's out of the southeast at about 2 miles per hour. Let's take a look at what's going on in the traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good to Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. Hey, they're all moved along well. And traffic is brought to you by our good friends at Napleton River Oaks Honda. They're right across the border here on Torrance in Lansing. And if you're looking to buy a new car, start right there. Just go, all right, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go over here to Honda and take a look at Napleton River Oaks Honda. They've been around a long time. They know how to service. They're one of the largest companies in the Chicago area. Did you know that? I got my new Crane Chicago business and saw that Napleton was up there in the top couple hundred. All right, let's take a look at a couple of things around here. Big fire yesterday downtown Hammond. And maybe you guys looked at it. It was the Straub building in downtown Hammond. And I do apologize about this. Typically, I would go there and cover the, it kind of had died down, but I would typically go there. But I had a take-home final that was due yesterday afternoon, and I just couldn't leave my house to go down there and maybe do a little video. So from what I understand, it was amazing optics. And I got a little criticism on Facebook for not going down there and not doing anything on it. And you were right, but I couldn't do it. I had about 4 hours left of work that I knew of, and then I had 6 hours to finish. And I'm like, well, I can't cut it that close. So anyways, fire crew spent nearly 9 hours Sunday morning and afternoon putting out a fire that ravaged through the historic Straub building. And it's on the 5200 block of Holman. And it was pretty, it started at about 4 a.m. and lasted until around noon or a little after noon. And I got a number of fires. Is there pictures? Christina, can you go on Facebook? There's some pictures that citizens put out there of that fire. And see if you can find those and post those over here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube on our video. And pretty spectacular. Now, I used to have my office in downtown Hammond, right above the where the old Joe Hirsch would have been, if you guys are familiar with that, if you're an old Hammond person. And they, what is it, 50? I can't remember the address, but you know where the rotunda is? It drops water. I've never understood that, why you would want to drop water, because to me, I used to sit in that second floor window right above. I had a coffee shop right there across the street there from the Straub building. I believe that's where it is. And the coffee shop was underneath, and then I had a trading operation on the second floor, and I would sit at that window and I'd look out at the rotunda, and it always reminded me of a man standing at a urinal peeing with that constant drip. And if I opened a window when it was warm, I could hear it, and it just constantly made me want to pee. But anyways, I was in downtown Hammond, and there was an older building, and I forget what the name of that building is, but it's where the Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce is now. And they did a lot of work in there, but a lot of it was fire protection. You know, they had to put in some of these places, they have to put in the sprinklers. I know Ray Garcia Jr. was putting in, he went and did EAT downtown, and there's all sorts of codes with sprinklers and so forth, but they didn't used to have them. And I noticed that in the ones that are being rehabbed, they have these sprinklers around, but in the ones that are older, they don't have them. And, you know, I don't know if the Straub building had sprinklers or not. My guess is probably not. We'll see. What else? In Hammond, you had a big bank robbery, 500 grand on a Brinks truck. And this happened on Friday. And the daringness of these guys, they had to have known the area, man. I don't know what what the general plan was, but it was 500 grand at the Chase Bank at 4200 block of Calumet Avenue in Hammond. This was a well planned and executed by somebody who knew what they were doing, and I think. Now, this was on Saturday morning, so I was thinking about this from what I read on the internet and so forth, and saw in some of the news reports. It looked as if they robbed the bank at 4200 Calumet. Ryan, can you look up what Hammond High address is? And so I'll give you an idea how far away from Hammond High that was. There's MX put a meme up there. Two of the biggest robberies shows the Brinks truck robbing the Chase Bank in Hammond. Then it shows Lake County Government Center. What is the Hammond High address on Calumet? Has got to be 5900. So it's 17 blocks north of Hammond High, where the Chase Bank is. And for the life of me, I'm not picturing it right now. But they're saying that according to some surveillance photos that they went out west on Boy Scout Road on Saturday morning. And the reason I bring this up is that I remember on Friday morning, I interviewed Art Peschke, and Art was having a cleanup day for Robertsdale and North Hammond, and one of the areas they were going to be cleaning up is Boy Scout Road. So Art, call us and tell us how the cleanup went, and did you have any information for the guys that on this evidently came and robbed the Brinks truck, and according to reports may have gone west on Boy Scout Road. You don't know where Boy Scout Road is, all right? So if you don't know Hammond very well, let's see, you're listening in Valpo right now. You would get off at Calumet Avenue and come over here to say Holman. And you take Holman all the way till it ends, and continue on Calumet Avenue there. What is that? That's not Calumet. I guess that is Calumet. And then you'd hang a left at this big gas station. I think it's 136th, and that's Boy Scout Road. And that goes out into Illinois. So let's see. The Brinks truck was across the street from Olympia Lanes. Okay. All right, right there. There it is, by Olympia Lanes. Okay, thank you. All right, let's talk to Art and see how the cleanup went. Art, how are you?
Good morning, Jim. I'm fine. Cold after the weather changed on us for the weekend, but we had a late start because of the investigation going on Boy Scout Road there, and they had it blocked off from Illinois to Holman Avenue, Sheffield Avenue, Sheffield, to right there by Luke's, and they finally let us in, so we got that cleaned up in good time, and everybody was chilled because the weather wasn't, that wind was coming out of the north, and it was kind of brutal, but we got a lot of stuff picked up. That's where all them bags are laid across from Luke's, is everything that was picked up and dumped there.
All right. So as far as I understand it, on the by Olympia Lanes, they rob the Chase or they rob the Brinks, and then they go over and take Boy Scout Road and then leave the car there and burn it up on Boy Scout Road. And that was exactly where you guys were planning on cleaning up. And luckily, you guys weren't there at the same time, Art.
No. Well, we were, and we were gathering over there. And then between the Hammond Police, we actually have Chicago cops, Higwish, whatever, and they blocked the other end of the road, so the people that are in a hurry or don't know how to get across the state line besides using that road, they just fly down there, and when you got a bunch of kids out there, it's not good.
Wait, so they had the road closed for you guys?
No, well, we had it closed by the Board of Works in Hammond.
What time? When did you have it closed?
We finally got it closed as soon as the police got done cleaning it, doing their investigation.
Okay, so too bad it wouldn't have been closed before the Brinks guys got over there. Okay.
No, we don't close until about 8:30.
All right, so they had done that earlier, and they were okay. So. Wow, what a weird thing. You and I are talking about Boy Scout Road on Friday. On early Saturday morning, somebody robs a Brinks truck and ditches the car on Boy Scout Road. And then you guys are out there, and they finally let you go up and clean Boy Scout Road. Did you get to see the car that was burnt out?
Oh, they seen the car.
Did you see the car?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay. So they did see the car, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, what a weird thing of events. Hey, so you cleaned up Boy Scout Road at least, huh?
That was a big task.
And what about over by the Nature Center?
Environmental Center?
Yes.
We didn't get anything cleaned up. The construction guys were working out there on Saturday. So they're trying to finish this up.
Okay, but you did get Boy Scout Road. All right, Art, thanks a lot, man. I'm glad you guys stayed out of harm's way there.
Oh yeah, there was too many police around there, and then, like I say, I was just picking up bits and pieces from phone calls from my adults that were down there, and I guess that came down about 7:30 in the morning. If not earlier.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Art. Hey, I'm glad you're out there taking care of the community, buddy. Keep it up.
We try.
All right, man.
Thanks, Jim. Bye.
One of the good guys there. So they're looking for two guys in their mid 20 to 30 years old. They drove into the parking lot and fired at the truck. So boom, boom, boom. It was like a shootout. Before making off with 3 bags containing money, the suspects reportedly returned to their vehicle and fled the area. There were no injuries, so a shootout in the parking lot, and then they go down Boy Scout Road, where Art's taking a bunch of kids over there to clean up. Or luckily they didn't. The timing was bad. Oh, my God. What is going on? Hey, what is going on with this ICE raid? What do you guys think about it, huh? 219-845-1100. If checking whether sex offenders are registered has fallen under the purview of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Lowell Kirkpatrick hadn't heard. Hey, thanks for beeping! Corellis Roofing. Hey, above all, a good roof. Hey, if it hasn't, people should be very afraid of ICE's motives. The Black Lives Matter Gary activist said Friday evening during a protest in Highland. She and 30 other people gathered at the corner of 45th and Prairie Avenue to rally against several arrests that the agency made Tuesday at the Hampton and Highland apartments. No hate, no fear, they were chanting. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Let's get it. Let's try that. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. What kind of rhythm would you do that? Would you do like a chicka boom boom, chicka 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 boom boom? No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Or can you do like Tom Jones? Hey, no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Anyways, let's see. What happened on in Highland, I guess, is that ICE showed up to take a look at a possible sex offender who hadn't registered. And for some reason, they had a whole bunch of trucks and cars and coinky dinky. They wound up taking 8 guys down. And what do you guys think is going on around here? Now, do you think that the arrest, according to the Post, arrest Tuesday afternoon brought to mind for several people the deportations that take place at the Geary Chicago International Airport? John Halstead of Crumpets Point said he wasn't surprised that ICE raids are getting closer to home because it's been happening all over the Midwest. They come from the Kankakee Detention Center each Friday to the airport because Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel doesn't want them to be deported out of Chicago. These are veterans, business owners, parents, and grandparents. They're not all criminals. So what is the level of fear about ICE raids in the region? Well, we'll talk 8 people arrested Tuesday in the Highland here. ICE Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent. They went to Hamptons and Highlands over here, where the person was found with 7 other people who were also arrested by ICE. Men were part of a crew replacing a roof on one of the buildings. One of the 8, one has since been released. So they showed up, and you know what? We live in an era where you just kind of do things, and people may know what you're doing, and it just kind of happens, huh? But you show up for one sex offender, and next thing you know, you got a bunch of trucks and cars there to take away a bunch of people for one sex offender. Sounds kind of fishy to me. But hey, you know what? We live in an era where there's what are the rules and what exactly is happening. The ultimate effect of this is that there's kids going to school right now to Clark High School. Right now, to Clark High School, to a number of high schools around, Lake Station High School, Portage High School. And they're afraid that when they come home, their mom and dad might not be there because of an ICE raid. I don't know. I know that some of us will say, you know what, that's what they deserve. But is it really? Is it really what a kid deserves, to live in fear that mom and dad are going to get sent back to Mexico or Guatemala or Romania, Kenya? I don't know. For some reason, I don't have a solution. I don't even have a political stance on it. But I have talked to young kids that are afraid that their parents or uncles or even themselves are going to get just rounded up randomly. And maybe that's the point. If you just round up randomly and you get a bunch of coverage on it, then you can stoke the fear. And then what happens? I don't know. What's happening right now is that my producer, Ryan Walsh, is going ballistic about me not playing spots on time. And here it is. Be right back.
Elections matter, qualifications matter, integrity and honesty matters, and most of all, experience matters. The Honorable Lorenzo Arredondo possesses all of these qualities. Make a wise decision. Vote for Arredondo for clerk on May 8th. Arredondo for clerk. Honest, trustworthy, dependable, and experienced. And there's no substitute for experience.
My name is Lorenzo Arredondo, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Arredondo for clerk.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Easy Clean is happy to announce their new location's grand opening at 1637 45th Street in Griffith. Open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. Or stop by one of our 3 other locations in Highland, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, carpet shampooer, air freshener, and towel with every wash. And it's fast, easy, convenient, safe, and gentle. Go to myeasyclean.com for more information.
I'm Peter Kadick for North Township Board. Vote for strong experience. Endorsed by Mayor McDermott, the Northwest Indiana Building Trades Council, and unions, and numerous precinct organizations. The best is yet to come. Paid for by Kadick for North Township Board Committee.
On May 8th, vote for Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz for Lake County Clerk of Circuit Courts. Andrew is a qualified Democrat and has 12 years of experience as a councilman in Maryville at every facet of government. Make your vote count with Andrew Silvestrowitz for Clerk of Circuit Courts. Paid for by Committee to elect Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz.
I am Andrew Silvestrowitz, and I approve this message.
You do have a choice for a new beginning. Vote Wally DeRose for Lake County Sheriff. He has an outstanding record as police commander, federal agent, and Army veteran. Integrity, honor, and a lifetime of service in Lake County. Paid for by the committee to elect Wally DeRose.
Hi, it's Mara Candelaria Reardon, your 12th District State Representative. The people you trust most, firefighters, policemen, teachers, and farmers, have all endorsed me to continue doing the people's work because they know that I will make sure their voices are heard at the State House. I humbly ask you to join them and vote Mara Candelaria Reardon for 12th District State Representative. Paid for by citizens for Mara Candelaria Reardon.
Hey, everybody, AM 1230, WJOB in Hammond, Indiana. I'm Jim Dietlow, host of JED in the Region, on 2 radios, 1 online stream, 3 video streamings, and it's all because of you guys supporting this local radio station and for the many businesses that come together and support not just a local radio station, but also a local streaming video station. As Mayor McDermott once just kind of looked at me and said on the air, he goes, you know what, now that I think about it, you've kind of created a network. And we have, and I can tell you that I've got some big stuff coming up over the summer, but I'm going to take a couple days next week, and I am going to a streaming video conference that I went to a couple of years ago. It really is a lot cheaper for me to do this because I have points on Southwest, which the bookings are down on Southwest, by the way, since the accident. And then my daughter has an apartment, and I'll sleep on her couch, and they'll give me a discount to go to the conference for being a teacher here or an instructor here at Purdue. So it's going to be one of the bargain turnarounds, but I will be going to New York City to essentially go to that conference next week. So you have a couple of fill-ins for 2 days next week. Hey, let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. I don't see much right now. Christina brings and puts it up on the screen there. Yeah, I don't see much there either. And I'll tell you what you will see is you are driving to the east right now. You have a gorgeous sunrise. And let's talk about that. It's 37 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest. Big truck. And then you are 37 degrees at local 395 of the Ironworkers Union that is in Portage. There are training centers in Lake Station. It's also 37 there. It's 39 degrees in Munster, where local 41 is, of the Laborers Union. And, of course, this weather that I'm going to talk about is sponsored by Laborers Local 41. Of course, I am a proud alum of that fine union. A high of 73 degrees today. It's hard to believe it because it's so cold right now. I mean, literally, I went out there in a dress shirt and a sweater and my leather jacket. I didn't put the hat and gloves on because just tired of wearing them for 8 months now. And I got a little chilly, real chilly. As a matter of fact, the ears are still cold and you get that feeling like it's a winter day, and then it's going to be a summer day by the end of it. So we're just going to fast forward through spring and fall, and then we're going to have summer this afternoon. Could get 75, 76 in the south part of the county. Tomorrow, 82 degrees, clouds and sun, and beautiful, beautiful days, 2 days. It's going to be warm. Thinking of wearing some shorts tomorrow, and then they're going to do some close-ups on my hairy legs. And then I think tomorrow's, is that Dave Gladish? Because I don't know who has hairier legs in the region, me or Dave Gladish. But somebody, I know that I'm right up there near the top of the hairiest legs. And I know right now that if I turned around and took my shirt off, you would also put me in perhaps the hairiest back category. I'm a hairy mongrel doing a radio show. And I want to show it because it's getting warm this week. And then it even stays kind of warm a little later on Wednesday and Thursday as you get into the times when you're looking at, say, like at a Mahoney hit a high of 74 on Thursday and a high of 70 on Friday, but a little bit rainier and more clouds and all that kind of stuff. What do you want to talk about, huh? You want to talk about this ICE raid? You want to talk about Brink's heist? You want to talk about the elections coming up? I think we heard, Brian, yes, was that the first sheriff's candidate that we have? When's the election? When's the primary? A week from Tuesday? I mean, I appreciate all these candidates. I see that Mara Candelaria Reardon, Andrew Silvestowitz, John Selzider, Pete Novak, and not Pete Novak, Chris Novak, Kadick, a lot of these guys buying advertising here, and I really do appreciate it. And it's just kind of surprising sometimes to see who really respects the region. You know what I mean? But I think Wally DeRose is the only one right now, and it's thanks a lot to Wally. Let's go to Dave from Gary. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Good, Jed. How you doing today? You know, we could talk about Brink's heist and stuff like that, or deportation, but let's talk about something a little more important. I have a black truck. I went and washed it on Friday night after work, and it was beautiful. And then when I woke up Saturday morning, it was trashed. And I thought it was because I lived by the lake, and it was sand and water. But then I went to Costco, and every car in the parking lot was trashed. Looked like somebody just sprayed it with, I don't know what. Did that happen to you? Do you keep a vehicle outside or both inside?
You know, it's odd that you mentioned that because I'm serious, because I washed my wife's car last week, and then it was in the garage, and I was looking at it yesterday, and I'm like, you know, what the hell, Alexis? I just washed this thing. What did you do? And she didn't know. And I don't know where it came from or what happened.
Some kind of weird acid rain late Friday night or early Saturday morning. And I was, Kathy was reading this app, and someone tried to explain it that it's been pretty dry lately, and there's just a lot of dirt in the air. And when it rained, it was kind of like that weird acid rain. I mean, it looked like somebody wet my truck down and then just threw flour all over it. It was a beigey, powdery, and I thought maybe that's what, it's a very similar looking substance that comes out of the scrubbers at NIPSCO. I forgot what the name of it is, but it's like a beigey powder that comes out of there that's a byproduct of it, and they use it to make paper and a bunch of stuff. And I was kind of disappointed because I haven't washed my truck in 3 weeks, and I knew it was going to be a nice weekend, and it's trashed, and it's not just me. Again, I went to Costco, and half the cars in the parking lot look just like my truck. Horrible. So maybe somebody is a fledgling meteorologist, or somebody knows if there was a discharge at one of the mills or one of the power plants. So
hey,
there
listen,
you go, man.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Wally DeRose?
No idea.
Is he a white guy or Mexican or black guy or Asian or what?
Well, if I have no idea who he is, I have no idea what
I'm
his race and nationality is as well.
Yeah, so I just wonder, because I keep doing this joke about, all right, 3 Mexicans, 3 blacks, and a white guy walk into a bar. What is it? It's the sheriff's race.
You might have to change that.
I might have to change that. I mean, who is this guy? He's the only one.
A week before election.
Yeah, he's the only. Yeah, he's the only guy buying ads over here from the sheriff's race. And you know what? I've been making so much fun of the Jackie Sutton and the racial politics in the race, and the Cantrell connection. I understand people's reluctance or whatever, and I get it. And I don't really care because if you really think about it, the sheriff's office in general has nothing to do with Oscar Martinez. Has really just kind of taken a beating in public opinion, and certainly has
for years. Absolutely,
and it kind of culminated with the top 3 in that office getting indicted, and it's just like, it's going to take a while to repair. I just hope that something comes out of this primary election that leads to the repairing. Certainly not happening now. These guys
I think it will.
These guys are being kind of nasty to each other, and that's just how it is.
Forget about the ticky-tack politics, and I have the guy I'm backing, and that's that. But, you're right. It's a big deal because it's a trusted position. Head law enforcement guy in Lake County, right? I mean, that's an important trusted position. And on top of that, it has the highest budget of any other office in Lake County. So you have it's the perfect storm, right? You have the previous sheriff being indicted and embarrassing the county again, and on top of that, it's the highest budget. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's like the perfect storm, and then all this personal stuff when it should be about who's going to protect what, when, and where. And it's just it's unfortunate.
It's Lake County, baby. That's how we roll. All right, I gotta go. Thanks.
Do you remember 2 years ago when I was sending you pictures, if you recall, and just making this text about the airport and the deportation where I would see them. Well, then it was twice a week. Now it's only once a week. They bring the Marshal plane in, and a couple hundred guys in orange suits and duffel bags. But I don't know if you remember, but it was a couple years ago. It was a big deal. Obama deported more people in 4 years than Bush did in 6 years, and you really never heard about that. The Republicans didn't want to give him props for doing it, and then the Democrats wanted to keep it quiet that they're deporting, tens of thousands of people every year. So,
well, the Coinky Dinky is you go over to Hamptons and Highland at ICE is now. Yeah. Oh, wait, ICE is going after a sex offender. I forgot that didn't register. Oh, and there's 7 other, Mexican guys there. Hey, we might as well pick them up. I mean, come on, man. At least say what you're doing. All right, talk to you. Thanks a lot. Hey, let's go to Mad Mac on line 3. Hey, how was your weekend?
Weekend was really good. Oh, God, I forgot to send you a photo. Oh, I'll have to send it to Billy Baker. I knocked...
Billy Baker, the troublemaker?
Billy Baker, the GD troublemaker. I knocked 4 balls within 8 feet of each other onto the side of 18 at Wicker.
Stop, will you?
What are you talking about?
You're lying.
Stop.
You're lying.
What?
I've seen you swing a golf club.
Have you seen me swing a hockey stick either?
Hey, listen, I remember that one time I was out there running Wicker, and I came up on, and I was looking at this guy swinging a golf club, just hitting ball after ball over there. And it's just me and him, the only guys on the whole course, because it's 40 degrees out. And I'm like, man, and I was watching, and I go, that is one of the worst golf swings I've ever seen. And then I came up, and it was Mad Mac. And now Mad Mac.
Yeah, but where were the balls landing?
Yeah, but Mad Mac now is telling us that he's hitting a bunch of balls within 8 feet of the pin. And I just have to call BS on that because I've seen you swing a golf club.
This is your problem, Jimmy. You don't listen. And then I said I knocked them within 8 feet of each other on the side of the green on 18.
Were you aiming for that area?
Of course not. Who the hell would aim for the side of the mound on 18?
Well, I thought maybe you didn't want to hurt the green.
No, but I did on 17 now. That was 3 out of 4 on the green with the kids I was playing with. They were even I was surprised. Although the one kid did put 2 on the boulevard, which was hysterical.
That is kind of these guys coming up number 8 on Wicker. I mean, some of these guys just wind up and, have a little semblance of some decency and hit an iron into the green. People wind up with that 3-wood from 220 out, and then they wind up just pulling it left, and it goes onto the boulevard. It's kind of dangerous.
That's on 17. Oh, I think I know what you're talking
Yeah, it's number 8, actually. Yeah. So, anyway, what's
well,
going on?
I was at 17. 17 had. Oh no, wait. Oh, maybe no, it is 17. Yeah.
You don't even know. 17's in the middle of the course.
Oh, then it is 8. Okay, because 9 is the little part 3. My bad. Okay.
Yeah,
so
you got it backwards,
8, 9, okay.
and it's all those years living in over there by Midway with all that
well,
diesel,
all
that
yeah.
jet
Big
fuel
truck,
exhaust.
I'm dyslexic.
What do you want?
Okay. So listen, it's not acid rain, and your truck wasn't trashed. It got dirty. It's the Great Plains, a little drying out. Still some of the fires from California. That stuff's getting up into the atmosphere, hanging around there. The clouds travel, drop it off here when it rains. That's been on the Weather Channel about 800 times. So just wash your car, big deal.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I noticed it on both of our cars, but specifically on the darker car, it really shows up right now.
Yeah,
So.
Big deal. Go wash your car. Good for the economy. Take it to the place. Give them $10. Everybody's good.
All right. So what else going on?
All right. So then you guys mentioned, I didn't want to bring this up. You mentioned the sheriff thing. And it's like, you got the dirtiest Democrats in the world, and yet still 3/4 of the county is going to vote for another Democrat for sheriff. You can't make things dumber. But here's the thing, Jimmy. I heard a flashback this weekend, which just showed the liberal race politics of the mentality of those folks on the left. And, of course, that doesn't include you. But you were included in the flashback. The date of this flashback was while Trump was the president-elect. And you were interviewing your daughter Jeannie and her boyfriend Daniel, correct? You remember that? No, I know you don't. Don't worry, I'll tell you. And you asked him what he thought of Chicago. Did he like Chicago compared to New York? And the first or second thing out of his mouth was, well, it could be more diverse. Now, I got to tell you, I grew up with black people, white people, Mexican people, and I never even noticed the difference in color because we were just playing around and having a great time living in the city. You know, it was a blast. Never noticed the color. And then you're at the age of whatever age they are, and you're like, the first thing you notice about the city of Chicago is it could be more diverse. And I thought Martin Luther King said, don't look at the color of the skin, judge the person by the character of them, or to paraphrase. And it was just an amazing flashback hearing that. And Walt was out there with
I don't remember it. I vaguely remember it, but I don't want
I
to go. I don't want to go into the. I don't want to go into the diversity.
Morning,
Hold on a second. I don't want to go into the diversity and the segregation of Chicago as kind of people living in different areas versus New York, where like a lot of the different races all live together and block by block. In Chicago, it is more cut up in most areas. Some areas are very diverse, but for the most part, like Lincoln Park and all that's very white, and you go over to 26th Street and it's all Mexican, and you go on the south side, it's a lot of black. So anyways, but here's the deal.
Those people
but in New York,
sin.
it's just different. People kind of live on top of each other of all races. But I want to ask you a question. Have you been following this Mark Chase thing where somebody, the Times put a picture of an African-American girl from Porter County in the paper, and somebody got mad saying, well, why do you got to show a black girl? Why can't you show a white person?
Man, it was out of Valpo.
Out of Valpo. What do you think about that?
It's kind of interesting. I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's like, okay, they put a picture in the paper. I mean, when I saw the picture in the paper at first, as I scrolled through that, I was, look at the picture. Okay, here's a picture of a bunch of dopey kids. Okay, so what? But Mark Chase, he's the arbiter of all things now. He's the guy You know, because he thinks he's going, he thinks he's Christ himself because he adopted a couple black kids, and now everything he says is written in stone. He thinks he's like Moses in the Ten Commandments or something.
So hold on a second. He thinks he's Christ himself because he adopted a couple of black kids. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, his word now, because he is the beginning and the end. He's the Alpha and the Omega now. Whatever he thinks he says, since he got his new little gig at that paper you misquote all the time, he's it. Whatever he says goes.
Well, what is the adopting?
If you can't live a life like Mark Chase, you're inferior to the nth degree. Heaven forbid you be a Catholic and think that in your church, when people get married, it's to be a man and a woman. Because if you believe in that, you've got a problem. Don't bring your faith near Mark Chase because he doesn't want anything to do with that.
What does the adoption of minority children have to do with it?
He's made it very clear that he's got that martyr syndrome going with that little issue. He's brought it up many times.
What do you mean martyr? I mean, so he is standing up.
Above all.
He is standing up for the tolerance level here in Lake County and applauding it. And you are saying he's being a martyr because he adopted minority children.
No, he's being intolerant of anybody who doesn't believe the way he does.
And
if you don't believe what Mark Chase believes, you're an inferior and damaged goods, and you need to go to retraining camp.
So he is intolerant. Wait a second. He's being intolerant. He's being intolerant of those who have a little bit of intolerance.
That wouldn't be intolerance.
I don't know. Hey, I gotta play spots. I'll be right back on the voice and face of the reason. Click.
John Salzader, Democratic candidate for North Township Advisory Board. You have heard me on these airways before talking about my family charity, its events, and the groups it supports. Now I've decided to run for your North Township Board. I am well qualified and ready to work for you. Elect John Salzader.
Approved and paid for by the committee to elect John Salzader.
Fill your garage with your dream car during the Honda Dream Garage Spring event going on now at Napleton's River Oaks Honda. They're Northwest Indiana's destination for new and certified pre-owned Hondas. Napleton's River Oaks Honda has a huge selection of brand new and certified pre-owned Civics, Accords, CRVs, and Pilots. Come find out why you always get our best deal at River Oaks Honda. As always, Indiana residents pay Indiana sales tax right off 8094 on Torrance Avenue or online at riveroakshonda.com.
Napleton, second to none since 1931.
Do you have a family history of heart disease or diabetes? St. Catherine Hospital Cardiovascular Prevention Center providers are offering free assessments to help determine your risk for heart disease and other related medical conditions. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 11:30 a.m., you can stop by the center at 7217 Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond for assessments like an ABI leg circulation test, blood pressure, body mass index, random glucose assessment, and more. You must be 18 or older, and walk-ins are welcome. You have only one body. Let St. Catherine Hospital of Community Care System help you take care of it. You can also call 219-392-7CVP to book an appointment today.
On May 8th, vote for Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz for Lake County Clerk of Circuit Courts. Andrew is a qualified Democrat and has 12 years of experience as a councilman in Maryville at every facet of government. Make your vote count with Andrew Silvestrowitz for Clerk of Circuit Courts. Paid for by committee to elect Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz.
I am Andrew Silvestrowitz, and I approve this message.
Is it Silvestrowicz in the Polish community? I don't know. He's saying his own name is Silvestrowitz. That sounds kind of fishy to me, baby. Anyways, Mary is from Highland, and she recently went to the bird exhibit at Field Museum. And she had some pretty good week. She said that we should all be a little bit more like some of their mating rituals. They get it over a lot quicker, I'll tell you that. You ever see a bird mate on an egg? Done. Not altogether like as you age. hence the sildenafil commercials over there, but anything here. She says that we should sing more often, like a bird. Birds wake up and they sing in the morning. Every time I see you falling, I get down on my knees and pray. I'm waiting for that final moment. You say the words that I can't say. Dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, let's take a look at traffic. Can you put it up on the board there, Christina? Because I don't feel like looking at it on my phone. Here I am at the Strachan Van Til Studios along Indianapolis Boulevard. And the big thing to note is that there's really not a lot of traffic. If you take 294, you'll get a little tight as you get close to O'Hare, but it's really not too bad. 80 going east and west looks good. The Bishop Ford is just easy ride all the way up to about 103rd. And then it's a little heavy on the southern end of the Dan Ryan for about 20 blocks. And then it opens up, and it's actually lighter than normal going into the Jane Byrne interchange. So can you take Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan right now? Yeah, you probably can if you're not going to freak out about a little stop and go for a few miles there on the southern end. And then what about the Skyway and the toll road, Barman I-65 US 30 and Klein Avenue? Hey, those are all moving along pretty darn well. And I would like to tell you thanks to Napleton River Oaks Honda for supporting traffic here. But really, traffic is incumbent upon you guys. Either text or call to 219-845-1100. Ryan, have you been monitoring the text line? Yeah, so nothing's coming in on traffic. Typically, if there is traffic, you guys tell us. Let's take a look at weather. I got to tell you that there's a couple of things going on this morning. One of them is that I finished a 15-hour take-home final over the weekend, and was just bushed yesterday from doing that. I was up all night Saturday into Sunday doing some reading. I got it done, and I sent my final in, I don't know, I can't remember what time yesterday, but I sent it in, and so that's kind of out of the way. I've got some more stuff to do with teaching sports broadcasting here, but it's kind of winding down as we go into finals week. On Saturday, though, it's going to be a big day over here at Purdue Northwest. But anyways, so I'm out of basically finished my main final, a marketing final. And it's sunny out finally, and it's going to be 73 degrees and sunny today. So there's just a huge amount of goodwill coming our way because of the change of weather. And I just want to share that feeling with you. Come on, let's hold hands. I have 73 today and sunny. Right now it's only 37 degrees, but I'll tell you what, even though it's cold outside, it just feels good in the heart. 5:45 is your sunrise and 7:45 is your sunset. The day's exactly 14 hours long. Gets down to about 53 tonight, and then it gets up to 82 degrees tomorrow with clouds and sun. Just give yourself a hand. Let's give Certified Electrician a hand because they're bringing us such good weather today. If you need electrical work done, have it get done by a local contractor that's union. Why not, huh? And then the rest of the week, say by Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, it gets a little bit cooler, but it does get a little, it's not as much sunshine. How's that sound? All right, what do we else you got? Markets, Friday didn't really do much. It should open right around 24,000. Sorry about that. I keep touching, and that's not what I'm not supposed to do. I do want to give you a couple of things that are going on in the business world, as I'm probably at some point going to start a little business show that just does these things, because I started here at WJOB as the business writer. Did you know that? When I started here in 1985, they hired me to do business, and ever since, even long before that, I've had this like long-standing fascination with business. Not necessarily do I want to make a ton of money. I wish that I had a little bit stronger drive for that, because then I'd be like nastier to people and I'd say no more often. But instead, I just like following the stories. And Pepsi is losing market share. Did you guys know that? The sodas aren't selling as well as they had been opting for some healthier offerings, and they're going to come back. They're going to buy a bunch of ads here in the U.S. PepsiCo plans an ad blitz for its sodas. Said they'll boost advertising for its cola brands in the U.S. and consider whether to separate or spin off the bottling operation. The snacks and beverage giants posted quarterly profits that were good, but the demand for Pepsi and Gatorade in North America is falling down. Southwest also is saying that bookings have dropped since their recent mid-air problem. And then perhaps one of the biggest things in is the Amazon is making well over $1 billion in the quarter, and that was not expected. They're just going gangbusters. And if you guys have been following some of the earnings lately, Google, Facebook, and Amazon have just been getting like over $1 billion in a quarter. And if you really start to think about it, where is that money coming out of? It is coming out of the local markets. And my theory is that eventually it'll kind of shift back, and you'll go back to wanting to communicate at the local level rather than communicating through like a multinational company like Facebook or Google, or buying your goods through a multinational. But we're way away from that. That could be years. But at some point it will swing back, and it'll be like local social media sites and stuff. But for now, it's all Facebook, Google, and Amazon making record profits. All right, guys, what's going on in your world? 219-845-1100. We talk about the Brinks heist. That was at 4200 Calumet Avenue here in Hammond on Saturday morning. Shots fired. Guys just came in, guns a-blazing, as according to reports, and then took $500,000 in 3 bags, and then went down Boy Scout Road from Hammond to Illinois. Boy Scout Road's like 136, the big Luke gas station there on the corner. And then they went and, according to police, dropped the car off and burned it up. The weirdest coincidence, Art Pesky and his group were scheduled to clean up over there. I guess the car went through like 7:30. They didn't get there till 8:30. And at least we have that to thank, that there weren't, the kids weren't along the road trying to clean up while this Brinks robbers were driving through there. And the other thing is a huge fire in Hammond over the weekend on Sunday morning. Started around 4 o'clock. The Straub building having just a massive fire and burning for several hours. Some fantastic looks to it. And then I want to say that I've been to so much stuff lately, but I want to say thank you to the Bishop Knoll folks. Had Alexis and I out. I was an abbreviated visit for us because I was in the middle of doing my final. But we went out there, and they raised a whole bunch of money for Bishop Knoll on Friday night in the gymnasium there for the big event. Had a lot of fun. Talked to Jim Zamuda, Bill, one of the callers here. A lot of people coming up and saying they listen to the show, and I very much appreciate that. Hung out with the Whalen brothers. I took a picture with the 3 Whalen brothers. They all grew up over there right by Bishop Knoll, a little bit to the east of Bishop Knoll on the East Chicago side. And we took the picture, and I said, as soon as we were done, I said, there's half a ton right there in that picture with me and the 3 Whalen brothers. Also on Friday, thank you to Mike Laliff and to Barb and Bernie Fisher. Do you know who they are? Mike Laliff. Some of you old-time Hammond people would remember this. Mike Laliff taught at junior high, and I forget which junior high. I want to say they said it was Washington Junior High, but I don't remember a Washington. I remember like Spone Middle School and that kind of stuff. But he taught in Hammond at the middle school level, and then spent a good portion of his days at Kenwood on Holman. And Mr. Laliff was there when all of, like, the mayor of Hammond and Dwayne and all of those 9 kids lived over there on Glendale Parkway in Hammond, so I spent a lot of time at Kenwood. And there was this guy that was like all into trampolines, and sometimes he would bring the trampoline out at Kenwood there, or he'd bring it out at the Civic Center more. Once in a while he'd have it at Kenwood. And we would go there and jump on the trampoline, and he was all into teaching people trampoline. I didn't remember this until later on Friday night. But Friday I went over to Purdue Northwest, and they opened up a new golf training facility. They took a racquetball room, and they put 5 different kinds of turf in there. They put a couple big things you can swing full into. That's a huge putting green. You can chip in there. It is about, and you can take a video of your swing. And it is high level as you can get it for a golf training facility. And we need that because coach, gosh darn it, I forget his name. I sat and talked to him for a long time, the men's and women's golf coach. You know, they travel around in their Division II golf, and that's pretty good golf. A lot of pros that play in the PGA Tour play Division II golf. And they really want to upgrade things in the GLIAC conference now that Purdue is Division II. So it really worked out. Mike Laliff evidently left some money to the 2 Fisher brothers. One of them, let's see, Bernie, the other brother was a quarterback for Hammond High in the mid-'60s. And they came back, and they're supporting the golf team here at Purdue Northwest, and they laid down a big chunk of change so that they could put this new facility in. And I got to interview Barb and Bernie, and I think Christina's got that lined up yet. Yes, she does. You know what? Let's just hear it right now, or hopefully you can hear it. There's a lot of people there for the opening there. John Friend, my high school football coach and a longtime athletic director over here at Purdue Northwest, he and I and Al Hamnick got to hang out together and talk about a lot of old stories, by the way. Put Al Hamnick, John Friend, and me together, and it's like I'm the one with all the BS. Those guys are pretty level-headed guys. They're not necessarily the most humorous guys, so some of my jokes just fall flat on these guys. But I'll tell you what, for pure legends about the region, or legends, they are both legends, Al Hamnick and John Friend, I got to hang out with them on Friday. But I did interview Barb and Bernie, and here it is on the voice and face of the region.
Hey everybody, I'm Jim Dino of WJOB, and I want Ben to come in here for a second. We have a brand new golf facility here. I'm going to walk out and tell you about it, but there's putting. This is one of the old racquetball courts here at Purdue Northwest, and we just opened up the Mike Laliff and Bernie and Barb Fisher golf facility. That'll be here for all of the men's and women's golf. And we're going to walk out here, and we're going to talk to some very special people that have been huge supporters of what we're doing here at Purdue Northwest in terms of the golf situation. And that is Barb and Bernie Fisher. And we want to thank you guys for everything that you guys have done here.
Thank you.
And
nice to be here.
So, Bernie, you went to Hammond High, got out in what year?
1965.
1965, and you went
66.
66. Oh, so you're both Hammond High people. So I was a little taken aback when we had, you know, Purdue Northwest golf is rather new, you know, at least at the Division II level, and I was really taken aback that we had to go all the way to Bloomington and get an IU guy to help us, you know, be the benefactor here. But Bernie came back home, and Barbara have come back home, and they've been supporting Purdue Northwest golf. What's up, man? What's the connection? What's the attraction to helping this golf team, guys?
Well,
move on a little bit closer.
When Mike was late in life, and he'd been a region guy his whole life, and when he passed away, he left some of his estate to my brother and I, and my brother took the estate and did very good things with his children, and we had no children. And so we were trying to figure out how to honor Mike, because this nice resource, we didn't really feel like it should be ours. And we heard that Purdue Northwest it was Purdue Calumet then, had just started a men's team a couple of years before. And so we chatted with some people over here and said, you know, how might we help you? And we ended up starting the Mike Laliff Invitational Golf Tournament, which was nice to honor Mike. And then we set up the Mike Laliff Endowment for Scholarships, of which Patrick Mudd was the first scholarship winner. And so that really, gave us a lot of connections. We come up every year in the fall for the Mike Invitational Golf Tournament, and we were here last year, and Rick said, "Let me show you this handball court over here." And he showed us this handball court. He says, "We think we can make this a practice facility." And that was the last time we saw it until today. So, I mean, we didn't know exactly what that was going to be. And we talked back and forth, and they came up with a number, and we said, sure, we'll figure out how to do that. And now we got a practice facility, which I think they're going to rename either the clubhouse or something.
Let's give it a name right now, the Shank. How's that sound?
I think it's going to be the golf, the Purdue golf team clubhouse is what it's going to be. But they called it the golf room today too. So it's really fun. And
well, in the Purdue connection, we may live in Bloomington right now, but he's got 3 degrees from Purdue, and I have 1 from Purdue West Lafayette.
Yeah.
So there's a big Purdue connection.
Yeah, we're black and gold.
All right, you're black and gold because Bernie here has taught at IU.
I'm a professor now at Indiana University, but I graduated 3 years from Purdue, and I was a professor at Purdue one time too. So yeah, we're very Purdue guys. Yeah.
Mike Laliff was one of the coaches, or a family friend, but he was a
grade school teacher.
Grade school teacher
at Washington Junior High, and then he ended up at Kenwood, and a bachelor, no children, no family. The one thing he did with kids is he taught trampoline lessons in the Hammond Civic Center in the winter. He set trampoline every night when the gym was open to shoot baskets and things. And in the summer, he worked for the Parks Department, and he moved the trampoline around to different parks. And his whole goal was just to get kids on trampoline. He ended up being a mentor, and as a school teacher, he'd ask them about how you doing in school and everything. So Mike's just this incredible person, and he was the closest uncle I had, even though he wasn't my uncle. And he came to family dinners for probably Thanksgiving for at least 40 years.
So he was a Hammond High guy.
All right, guys, there it is, and that's good to see. Does anybody remember this guy? I vaguely remember, and it was only after I thought about it, at Kenwood School, that he would have the trampoline over there once in a while, and my cousins all lived behind there, and we'd go over there, and this guy. So I do remember the guy vaguely. I don't remember him teaching trampoline at Hammond Civic Center. Is there anybody else that remembers Mike Laliff? Come on. There's got to be some old-timer here that remembers this guy. He was a teacher. I think he graduated Hammond High in 1941, they said. So, he's an older dude. He died in 2011. And he left these guys a bunch of money. They have written some checks to make the Purdue Northwest golf team grow. Nobody remembered? I can't believe it. Call me, 219-845-1100. It's got to be somebody that remembers this. But so they're honoring Mike. He died a bunch of years ago. And Barb and Bernie Fisher have come back to really put a big boost over here to Purdue Northwest. Anyways, let's take a phone call. 219-845-1100. Not one person remembers Mike Laliff. That's crazy. Hey, MX, how are you? What's going on?
Pretty good, Jed. Rode the dirt bike this weekend, and I'm going to bring it over by you. But you talked about tanning, and spring is here.
Yes, it is. We're going straight to summer today.
Yes, I'm just wondering if you put your tanning lotion on the night before to soak through all that hair. Anyways.
I don't know, man. The wife used to put a suntan lotion on my back, but she's like, dude, you're so hairy now. I mean, I don't even know if you need it. Anyways, go ahead.
I think Lefty got religion, huh?
I don't know what you mean.
If Kim Jong-un and President of China can get along, why not Mayor Tom and Lefty?
Yeah, Christina's going to put your meme up on the screen right now, and explain what you mean by this.
Well, Trump has done a real good job. This meme reflects
Big Truck.
Big Truck. What Trump has done as president. As you see in the beginning, Kim Jong-un, the little rocket man, rocket boy, went back and forth. Now Trump has gotten, with the sanctions, to have Kim Jong-un think differently. See, nobody really stood up to Syria or Kim Jong-un like Trump did. So we know that President of China and Trump have met, and we know that Kim Jong-un is soon to meet with President Trump. So the Mimi puts it all in perspective, and we know that the big fight here in the region is Mayor Tom and Lefty. So now Lefty is we can get these two together, and Lefty is photoshopped as a priest, and he wants to hear the confession of Mayor Tom. That ought to be good, shouldn't it?
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, first of all, I don't think that ever Lefty and Mayor Tom are going to do what Kim Jong-un and Trump are doing. I don't know. I mean, I just don't see that in the offing, put it that way. In terms of what has happened with North Korea, it is just astounding. And it doesn't matter where you are politically. It is a great opportunity to establish peace for the near future, at least, with North Korea. I think that it doesn't matter where you stand politically. For some reason, Trump's tactics seem to have worked so far.
Right, and as you know, North Korea and South Korea are becoming friends, and this is all due to Trump and his sanctions. And when Syria, a lot of people have questioned Syria. Why did Trump bomb that chemical weapons facility? Is because the president of Syria, and I forgot, Assad, he shouldn't have chemical weapons.
Good idea. Good idea. He shouldn't have chemical weapons. All right, I'm running out of time here, MX. Hold on. Let's go to Walt on line 2. Walt, how have you been?
Okay, first, since MX brought up the Korean situation, there's really a good cartoon in the latest edition of The Week magazine, and the cartoon is by Gorel. In the first picture, it shows Mr. Trump standing there with a paper saying, "Fire and Fury." And the Democrat jackass points to him and says, "He's antagonizing North Korea." Second picture shows Trump with a piece of paper saying, "Korea talks." And the Democrat jackass says, "He's coddling North Korea." Go figure. What can I say?
Since he has brought up Korea, I mean, there does seem to be significant advancement in the negotiations with North Korea. Pompeo was over there talking, and so I just hope that, because for a long time it was kind of a low-level fear that people are walking around like, is North Korea going to push the button? And I mean, what is it? I mean, it seems to help some of that fear die down, and we could use a little break on fear.
Well, I wasn't afraid. I mean, I said over your airways that the Rocket Man was as crazy as a fox, and that with his weaponry, nuclear weaponry, such as it was, and his big questions as to how effective it really would be, I mean, all it would take would be one American nuclear submarine, ballistic missile submarine, sitting off the coast of the west coast of the United States, to turn North Korea into a parking lot. So I had no fear whatsoever that something like that would happen.
I wish I could share your level of confidence, because when it comes to nuclear weapons, I just feel as if there isn't a directed outcome that we can say where it's going. Somebody lets off a nuclear bomb, who knows what's going to happen? It's like farting in church. Anyways, go ahead. What else going on, Walt?
Well, I caught your interview with Mr. Brown on Friday. You did a very respectable job of bringing newsworthy questions for the electorate, to at least the Republican electorate, to hear what the man had to say. I was wondering if you're going to interview Luke Messer, the Republican. He's an establishment type, and then Todd Rokita, who's originally from Munster. do you think you'll be interviewing them before the primary election?
You know what? We're trying to. A lot of times they want to tape it, and I can't do it in the morning or whatever. So I don't have a lot of interest in coming back to tape an interview with a politician. I will sometimes, but we're trying to work out the scheduling. But we are trying to get them. Also, they're having a big debate. And Ryan, I want you to see if you can get that debate on the air tonight on the radio between Messer, Rokita, and Braun. It's the last debate. And I'm going to see if we can't pick that thing up tonight, Walt. So stay tuned. I don't know if we're going to get it or not. But at least I will play excerpts of it tomorrow morning because it's kind of weird. It's on the Republican side, and the polls are showing that Donnelly's well ahead if they ran it today. But, once the Republicans quit fighting with each other and all get behind one candidate, I mean, it's a pretty even race, and it's going to turn out to be one of the bigger Senate races in America.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's pretty important on the Republican side who gets in there. And, let's talk about this Braun. I didn't know anything about him, and he called in on Friday, and he's just basically a businessman who is very, very negative about Rokita and Messer and about Washington in general, and a huge supporter of Donald Trump. And he's winning in that primary by like 10 points right now.
I'm not surprised. I mean, the mood of the country is that they've had their belly full of career politicians. They've been depending on them, pleading with them, asking them, voting for them, saying, "Look, we don't like the deal you're giving us out of Washington, and you're lining the pockets of the wealthy and to the disadvantage of the middle and working class. Do something. Stop it. Stop what you're doing because what you're doing ain't working." And the swamp said basically, "Screw you." And so, Middle America, as I commented right after the election last year, 2016, that this was a middle-class, middle American revolt, which you tended to agree to at the time.
Yeah,
but
it was. Now, let's go back and do this, because Walt and I haven't talked about this in a while. Walt, at the time, if you remember, you were, I think, kind of happy about the election. Of course, you don't really take a stand on it, but I
was a strong Trump supporter, while most of the local Republicans were hiding in the weeds, despite the fact Trump was at a 19-point lead.
The thing that's happened since, though, and we'll pick this up tomorrow because I do have to play some spots, but the thing that's happened since is at the time I told you and others that, I kind of had hope that Donald Trump was going to come into office and he was going to shake up Washington because it needed to be shaken up. There's too much just bloat, and it just needs to be popped, and they need to hit regulation pretty hard, and he's been able to do that. The one thing that is, as an analysis of him, is that his erratic nature is working against the country sometimes. On a foreign relations way, his erratic nature with the FBI, I don't think that is adding anything to America. And if he was able to just get some semblance of coherence, or have coherent behavior on a regular basis, he could really do some. But he always veers off into the kind of semi, goofball stuff. And I don't like it.
Well, I think for me, I've been most impressed by the way he's handled foreign policy issues. And his whole strategy is to keep them guessing, keep them off balance, and like a boxer, you jab with the left, and all of a sudden, bam, you bring in the big right hand and take them out. And he has been successful.
He's been reasonably successful with that, but at some point you need at least an understanding that the guy has a stable club in his bag, and I just don't get that feeling. Walt, I got to go. Thank you so much. Hey, guys, be right back.
My name is Ernie Dillon.
My name is Joe.
My name is Bill Emerson Sr.
We are veterans supporting our fellow veteran, Rich Novak, for North Township Board.
Rich is experienced, dedicated, hardworking, and professional.
Remember, vote on Tuesday, May 8th.
Approved and paid for by the Committee to Elect a Vet, Richard J. Novak.
Hello, my name is Patrick O'Rourke. On behalf of the Hammond Teachers Federation, I am proud to support Mara Candelier Reardon for 12th District State Representative. She is a proven fighter for teachers and students in Northwest Indiana. On May 8th, please join me in casting your vote for Mara Candelier Reardon for State Representative District 12.
Paid for by citizens for Mara Candelaria Reardon.
Dining Solutions is proud to present the 2018 Mother's Day Champagne Brunch on Sunday, May 13th at Wicker Memorial Park, 2215 Ridge Road in Highland. Treat your mom to a fabulous meal, a beautiful view of our scenic golf course, and a live performance by Peter Oprisco singing Frank Sinatra-era songs. Our buffet includes breakfast items such as scrambled eggs, bacon, French toast, and biscuits and gravy. Or enjoy lunch with our homemade bread, salad, Italian sausage, chicken, baked fish, potatoes, vegetables, and carving station with roasted prime rib and ham. Finish it all off with our delicious desserts and chocolate fountain. Available seating is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Reservations can be made by calling Dining Solutions at 219-923-3830.
I'm Peter Kadick for North Township Board. Vote for strong experience. Endorsed by Mayor McDermott, the Northwest Indiana Building Trades Council and unions, and numerous precinct organizations. The best is yet to come. Paid for by Kadick for North Township Board Committee.
You do have a choice for a new beginning. Vote Wally DeRose for Lake County Sheriff. He has an outstanding record as police commander, federal agent, and Army veteran. Integrity, honor, and a lifetime of service in Lake County. Paid for by the committee to elect Wally DeRose.
You know, it's always interesting. I get to see the patterns of advertising and the behaviors during this campaign. And a lot of times, because of that, I can kind of maybe tell who's going to win. And I got no clue this time. Who's Wally DeRose? You guys hear that? I don't know who that is. But 3 Mexicans, 2 white guys, and 3 black guys walk into a bar. What is it? Hey, it's the sheriff's race. All right, what do we have in terms of traffic around the region right now? 294 around the city looks pretty good. A little bit of heaviness as you get up by O'Hare. And then 80 going east and west looks okay. The Bishop Ford, a little bit tight from, say, 111th on up to the southern end of the Dan Ryan, but you've seen worse. So the Skyway and the Toll Road are moving well. So is the Borman, I-65, US 30, and Klein Avenue. So go ahead and drive around wherever you want. And just enjoy the sunshine this morning. Traffic brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. And what do you have in terms of the weather, which is brought to you by our good friends at Carpenters Local 599, a big sponsor of a number of local charities. Say thank you to your local union carpenter for supporting the efforts here at WJOB. A high of 73 degrees this morning. Not kidding, as we are really in the 30s still 38 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest. And tomorrow it gets even warmer, a high of 82 degrees and partly sunny and warm. So enjoy a couple of beautiful days. As I mentioned, you guys well know that I was doing my final all weekend long and have been just incredibly loaded with schoolwork and with teaching, and it kind of loosening up here. So if you want, you can see Alexis and I walking around Wicker Park today, I don't know, 5 or 6 or so, and just enjoying that beautiful trek around that great piece of real estate. And I hope you guys get out and do something too. It gets a little cooler on Wednesday and Thursday, but still in the 70s, maybe some rain moving in later in the week. In terms of the markets, let's take a look at what we got going on overnight. It didn't really move that much on Friday, still hanging around 24,300 on the Dow. And they're up considerably overnight at about $124 overnight on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a look at some sports with Ryan Walsh. What's going on?
All right, we'll start with Friday's baseball games. Griffith wins 3-1 over Valparaiso in 5 innings. Hobart 10-8 over Chesterton. Ryan Earp brought 2 runs in for the Brickies. Lake Central beats Munster 7-4. Connor Tomasic and Jared Pace each drove 2 in for the Indians. River Forest rolls by Gary Westside 15-0 in 5 innings. Paul Schultz struck out 7 Cougars. And Drain cruises by Crete Monet 7-1. Tyler Nelson drove 2 runs in and scored 2 runs for the 59ers. Highland shuts out Ileana Christian 2-0. Meet Patel and Stephen Fowler drive a run in for the Trojans. Softball scores from Friday. Lake Central takes down Penn 5-2. Selena Pitchko hits a home run in the win for the Indians. Whiting trounces Hammond Clark by a score of 11-0. Samantha Derringer scored twice and swatted 2 win for the Oilers. Highland takes Bike Path bragging rights over Griffith with a 9-4 win. Jamie Gessler hit a home run for the Trojans. Girls tennis, Lake Station blanks Griffith 5-love. Brooke Hardin won her match for Lake Station 6-1, 6-4. Lake Station wins 4-love over Whiting. Holly Pasco won her match in straight sets 7-5, 6-0. On Saturday, a couple of prep notes. Softball, Marquette Catholic sweeps BNI 6-1 and 14-0 in the doubleheader. Lake Central loses 3-2 to Franklin Central and beats Mishawaka 11-1 in 5 innings. High school girls tennis, East Chicago Central sweeps Griffith 5-love. Arely Enriquez sweeps her match 6-2, 6-2. Baseball, Lake Central trounces Lafayette Jeff twice, 6-1 in the first game and then 17-0 in the second game. Brock Bagasha, Jake Dykstra, Max Bourne, Justin Graves, Jared Weiss each had big days for the Indians in the doubleheader sweep. Boone Grove takes down East Chicago Central 11-1 in 5 innings. That's your prep report for the weekend.
He's Ryan Walsh. Also, Ryan, we got to talk about the Cubs pitching over the weekend. 27 innings, no earned runs given up by Cubs starters. What happened?
Well, the Brewers' bats just went silent. They had some opportunities with guys in scoring position, and the Cubs starting pitching. It finally got going. Darvish, Lester, Chatwood yesterday, and Quintana. Quintana, he pitches his best baseball against the Brewers for whatever reason when he's played with the White Sox, and then when they played the Brewers, and now with the Cubs, he's just completely dominated.
219-845-1100. Billy Baker's waiting out at the.
Is that a sledgehammer? No, Billy. No, Billy. We'll get you in.
All right. So what else? Anything else in sports?
I'm wondering if Noah has another arc because LeBron's tears are going to drown us all.
Explain.
Well, he's big, he's physical, and a couple of calls. He's a great player. I just don't understand why he's always got to be complaining when they call a foul. I mean, little taps on the head and on the shoulder and the arm, and he goes flailing all over the place, crying and getting in the referee's ears. And then, next time down, a call that just totally.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, I mean, the Cavaliers move on.
Yeah,
and they beat the Pacers in a great series. There's been some amazing series. The NBA right now, the one thing about being so busy that I'm a little bit yanked off about is that there's such great NBA basketball going on right now every night. And, of course, over the weekend, the Cavs and the Pacers finishing up that series. I thought the Milwaukee-Boston series was one of the best series.
What a dud Saturday night. 16-point difference.
Yeah, you're right. But
that was a great series. And
it was a great series up until the last game, yeah. But
how about the game on Friday night with the Jazz and the Thunder?
Where is that one? I literally
it was in Utah.
And so Utah won?
Yep, Utah won and knocked out the big three, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, and Russell Westbrook. Westbrook got into a heated exchange with a fan after the game. Fan got too close, and people are really railing on Westbrook, but fans need to realize that we all have emotions, whether we're fans, coaches, general managers, players, or people that don't like sports. Everybody's got emotions, and when you get in somebody's face, you're going to get clapped back on. And so Westbrook took a swing at the guy to get out. He didn't hit him or anything. I don't think he was trying to hit him, but he was just trying to make a point to get out of my face. You guys won. Just have some class with beating us. And the Rockets beat the Jazz pretty easily yesterday. The Rockets are the real deal this year.
Yeah.
The Warriors, they cruised by the Pelicans on Saturday night.
I saw some of that. The Pelicans were okay in the first half. So there's 4 series going on right now that are pretty good stuff.
And
man.
Tomorrow night will be the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors. That's going to be a really big-time series for the NBA because the Raptors, a couple times early in the year, they really cleaned up the Cavaliers, and the Cavaliers late got things going. LeBron says he's tired. He said he's burnt out from that series from the Pacers going 7 games. Raptors, they think that they're the team that's going to dethrone the Cavaliers from the Eastern Conference.
Good luck with that. He's Ryan Walsh. Sports has been brought to you by
Johnny's Tap, 8050 Calumet Avenue, the home of Mr. and Mrs. Fun, 12 different beers on tap. And, of course, they have Mix It Monday. They have Mix Drink Monday specials.
All right, let's talk to Lori. Lori, what's up?
Good morning, Jed. Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Great. How about you?
Good. You know, I wanted to tell you, I told the young intern lady that yesterday or Thursday evening I was eating dinner and I got to meet a tennis coach from Munster, Mr. Sid Rothstein.
Sid's the man.
He's still teaching tennis. He's in his 80s, and I asked him if he's ever been interviewed or been on your show lately, and he said no, not for quite a long time, but he was willing to, have one of you guys interview him in the near future if you're still interested.
All right, set it up, Lori.
Okay, great.
You set it up. Ryan will set it up. You know what? It should. I should have Sid Rothstein on one of these days. He's got a lot of history, and he's just a good
tennis, sneakers.
The sneakers. I mean, he knows every. Plus, he's just a longtime region guy.
Yeah, he had his red, Munster Mustang jacket on, and I said, "Are you a coach?" And he said, "Yeah, tennis." And he's really, very with it and everything. And one little boy comes in with his parents, a little Miguel Gambetta, and he likes to play tennis over at Match Point with his one of the ladies that Maria owns Buena Cocina. Her sister Ulfi works there, and he likes to play tennis. And he got to meet Mr. Rothstein, and his eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. And he told him, "Keep practicing, keep it up, young man." He said, "You'll do fine." So
thanks a lot, Lori. That's a great
You're welcome.
suggestion. We'll get it done. Talk to you.
Great. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks to Johnny's Tap. We'll be right back.
Laborers Local 41, together with Indiana Laborers Training Center and our signatory employers, provide state-of-the-art instruction in all areas of the construction industry, from hazardous material handling and environmental remediation to road construction and highway safety. Remember to slow down in construction zones and that the Local 41 members working there are mothers, fathers, coaches, and mentors. Laborers Local 41. We build Indiana in more ways than one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Frank J. Mervan, North Township trustee. I would like to share with you why my coworkers and I love working for you at the North Township trustee's office.
Hello, my name is Lori Polgar, and I'm the Chief of Staff for North Township. I reside in Munster, Indiana. I enjoy working for Frank Mervan, our trustee, because he is always going above and beyond to help our community, and he shows compassion that is always needed during difficult times in individuals' lives.
Hello, I'm Jerry Siska from Highland, Indiana. I am the Director of Transportation here at North Township and have served in that capacity for over 20 years. Dial-A-Ride services the communities of Whiting, East Chicago, Hammond, Highland, and Munster. What I enjoy most about my time with Dial-A-Ride is my ability to help others and making a positive impact on someone's life.
Again, this is Frank J. Mervan, North Township trustee. If you or someone you know needs assistance, contact us today. Remember, at the North Township trustee's office, we connect people with services.
John Salzader, candidate for North Township Advisory Board. I am fully qualified, experienced, and will bring a new face and new vision to your township government. Elect John Salzader, S-A-L-Z-E-I-D-E-R, on May 8th, Democrat.
Approved and paid for by the committee to elect John Salzider.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? 7:30 in the Calumet region. I'm Jim Diedlow, host of JED in the region, hanging out with you guys on a beautiful Monday morning. I'll be here till about 8:30 today. And let's see what's going on the traffic. 294 around the city is lighter than normal. Got a couple of heavy spots, but it's moving. 80 going east and west. 80 going east and west looks pretty good. The Bishop Ford, a little bit tight, 110th to 95th. But other than that, really not really lighter than normal. Going into Jane Byrne, it's a little bit lighter than normal. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65, US 30, Klein Avenue. Hey, they're all moving along pretty well. Thanks a lot to Nableton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. And what do you have in terms of the weather? A high of 73 degrees today, 82 tomorrow. And then it gets a little cooler near Wednesday and Thursday in the 70s on your high. and grayer on Wednesday and Thursday, and maybe some rain. Then by the weekend, it cools off. Next week should be in the 60s on your high. But, hey, you know what? We'll take it. It seems like every time it's been nice, we've had like 4 nice days this year. Every one of them came on a Monday or Tuesday. And that's because Bill Baker brings us that weather. Hey, weather brought to you by Laborers Local 41, of which I am a proud alum of that fine union. A Brinks heist over the weekend at 4200 Calumet Avenue at the Chase. Some shots fired and $500,000, according to the police, gotten away with. And their escape route was back to Illinois. And they evidently left a stolen car there, burned up on the Boy Scout Road. And that was where Art and his guys were cleaning up on Saturday morning. So luckily nobody was hurt or shot. And just money was taken and no real leads yet, or at least that we know of. And then in terms of downtown Hammond, huge fire yesterday morning at the Straub building. Some pretty graphic photos on the internet showing just a long-time landmark in Hammond burning down. Ice raid last week in Highland. For some reason, ICE is now involved in getting unregistered sex offenders. And they took 8 people down, and there were some protests over the weekend of such and said tactics. Billy Baker's here. What's going on, man?
Jimmy Dietlow, how you doing? That was a real great lead-in. Thank you. I feel real, positive.
Real positive with an ice raid, sex offenders,
Brinks robbing, big fire,
and a fire. How's that feel? How you feel?
Hey, at least it's nice out.
It's
Sun's
sunny
out. Got that
yeah.
going for us. It's Monday.
Go to that group picture for a second, will you? It's like we're in the middle of Indianapolis Boulevard, Look at that. Hey, look how beautiful that is.
That is real beautiful, Jimmy.
Hey, look up on your head, yes.
Really?
Hey, what's going on,
And
man?
I heard you sing this morning. Again, I thought we had a deal. You're not doing that anymore.
Every time I see you falling, I get down on my knees and pray. The governor's lapdog is in here.
You thought that was pretty funny, huh?
Baker is funny guy this morning. He's Bill Baker. He is here in no official capacity as his real job or in the many boards he's in or the Little Cal Commission or any of that. He's just here to hang out for half an hour because this is all the FaceTime we get anymore. I had some FaceTime with your wife and Mary.
Really? What's that like? She's like my favorite world-class athlete that lives in the region, and you don't remember?
I do remember.
She played tennis.
Piatek. Mary Lou Piatek. There you go. I was going to call her Mary Kate, but I was thinking of your wife's, whatever.
Right,
I got
stop
lost.
Thinking, all right?
I
That's
just
your first problem.
I turn off my brain at 8 o'clock, and today I got to go to 8:30, so I only have so much brain for another half hour. So what I'm going to do...
And when you do turn it on, it isn't that much, I'll tell you that.
In this hour, I'm only going to spread it out because I'll have half a brain on each show. Are you okay with that?
Oh, gee, maybe you could tell us again about your final again. It was take-home open book.
You know what? That's what I thought.
What the hell?
She said, well, I'll take you at least 6 hours. And I'm like, really? All right. It took me 15 hours over the weekend.
Yeah, well...
And I know how studied. I know marketing now, Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, you know what? This time next year, you're going to be
PMA marketing.
You're going to be so impressed with your friend's marketing abilities.
Hey, you know what? 15 years, as long as you get there, that's all that matters.
You know what? They they asked.
Did they have a section on a chapter on PMA marketing? PMS marketing.
No, but I explained it to my professor,
and he just went,
"What? Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
She looked at me and she said that, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah. Did you do what you did to me all those years and go, Professor, you just don't understand?
No, I didn't. I'm starting to understand that I'm doing it wrong. Okay. She's like, you have look at all these views you have. Why aren't you selling them? She goes, all right, well, tell me what you guys do for selling. And I go, She goes, no, really, what do you guys do? I mean, what do you do to go out and sell? Huh?
Humana.
Hey,
go back in.
Shaky Scooter Shop.
Schmedling, over here.
And then she goes, all right, well, what kind of customer service do you do? I'm like, what'd you say?
If you don't like it, I don't care. That's my customer service.
Exactly. And she's like, come on, man.
Exactly.
Because you could double your sales in a year. And I'm like, all right.
As long as you're happy, Jimmy. That's what I told you.
I'm going to change
15
it. I'm
years.
telling you.
Yeah, 15 years. That's good. Just think of all what would have happened if it was a little
Trying to
bit.
just listen to you.
Again.
Yeah, but you don't have a PhD. She does.
Okay, that matters. Or what was the one consultant that tried to paid a whole bunch of money to and told you the same thing to? You go, well, at least he's a consultant. Not from
he's
here.
still he like I think he peed his pants on the way out. He was so like turned around. He came in and I paid him and he was like, all right, I want to see let me meet your sales department. And I said, huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you represent the region so well when you get out there.
Baker, here's my theory.
Oh, no.
Okay, you want to hear it?
No, absolutely not.
I know you're going to hear it anyways. My radio station.
As long as you're happy, eat Snickers.
Snickers. Hey, you going to be here a while?
Snickers on
Going to be here a while? Get a Snickers bar.
And some tea that eventually I'll knock over.
My thinking, and it has worked out so far, is that all you got to do is do the right thing, and the region will support you. And we've done that from the beginning, even when you were here. We did the right thing. That's why it works. We let people talk. We help charities raise their money. We bring people on, and we just be here. We don't mess with the WJOB spirit, and people will support that. Now, if you want to do something new, you have to actually get out and you have to tell your story. And that's what I got to do. I got to get out and tell people the video story.
Right. Well, you eat Snickers on the video?
Why do you got to tell them that? The camera was on you.
Huh?
The camera was on you. Christina knew that, but you brought. I'm going to eat this thing.
Again, I don't have the monitor to see.
Why don't you bring me like a gluten-free muffin one of these days? Huh?
I had a whole big not gluten-free coffee cake I was going to bring in, but I'm keeping it.
I miss that. I just miss it, man. I feel great though. I'll be honest with you. Remember how I was?
That's all that matters.
Jimmy, you look kind of pale. Yeah, my stomach hurts for like 25 years. Remember we went to Denver that one time and I had to lay in the bedroom and we had this huge house and there was like 6 of us and I had to lay in bed for like 2 days because my stomach hurt after like a big pizza downtown Denver.
Yeah, that was it. Moving on.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Baker's here, and we are here to talk about big, important things in the region because that's what we do. And what's going on, Baker? Hey, what's going on at? Are they going to build that big mall at 231 and I-65? I went to the contractor. You didn't go to that. The contractor's hard hat or top shelf thing. Contractors and union guys all got together to support American Heart Association at Gambas. And if one guy asked me, 5 guys asked me about that 231 and I-65 deal, some massive mall going up there, which is kind of counterintuitive. Amazon just had world record profits. Google, Facebook, they're taking all the money out of Main Street. Why would you build a new discount outlet mall?
Well, developers develop. I mean, that's going to be one of the things that they look at. And there's demographics and the expressway. And, there's really nothing between that part of the region and Indianapolis, really, Lafayette. But nobody drives up from, Tippecanoe County. So, and it's probably just in the due diligence phase. They're just seeing what it would take and what the dollars are going to be and work through that process. But, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, retail is under the gun, for lack of a better description, and is going to continue so. But, there's going to be that, segment of the population that's still going to like to go to the store and walk around and do that type of a thing. Is it going to be the old mall that we're all accustomed to? Probably not. I mean, those are expensive, and there isn't quite those big box type retailers that are going to be able to anchor those types of things. So that mall is more of your outlet mall type of a thing, which you may or may not know is not really a outlet mall anymore. So those, retailers will have a certain, call it a brand or so that'll just go straight to the outlet mall as opposed to last year's edition or last season's edition.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, therein lies a new thing. I mean, there's some people that like to go to those first run stores, and why don't we bring Nordstrom's in? Remember that we need Nordstrom's, or we need whatever. So there's some people that like that. Other people is, I want a good deal. I want to be able to find what I want, and I want to get the hell out.
As long as they have Eddie Bauer, I'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's all I'm looking for. That and Banana Republic. Those two.
Please don't talk to me about your fashion at all, all right? I mean, I'm glad that you kind of worked out of the things from 1980.
Steve Madden, right here, $42 DSW on the back. You go in the back and you look at the discount rate.
There would never have been a day where I would have thought you would sit here and tell me how you're dressing and give me that kind of thing. It's just...
So evidently, this massive mall at 231 and I-65 is on the drawing board. I have no idea if it's going to happen.
No, I mean, it's a good piece of dirt, and there's a lot of things that could happen there. I mean, I-65 corridor. I mean, I drove it this weekend. I mean, I went.
Where'd you go, to IU to pick up your kid?
No, not this trip. This trip it was Muncie. So
What's going to Muncie for?
I have a kid in Muncie. Yeah, I have two kids, D-Lo. I know it's not about you.
Oh, that's right.
But Alex is
I forgot Ball State is in Muncie.
Oh, jeez. All right.
How's he doing? Is he coming home?
Yeah, he's fine, Jimmy. All the family's good. Your family good?
No, Max.
Everybody all right?
Max was an intern here for a summer.
And he's at IU.
My guess he doesn't come home.
Yeah, well, they're seniors now, so why? It starts the thing we've been talking about for years. Alex is at Muncie, like we mentioned. He hasn't been home for a summer. Not going to be home this summer, too. He's got an internship in Indy with a big tech firm down there, so I'm proud of him from that standpoint. Max is he's ready to go. He's going to get a job probably in Bloomington working for the university. So, having a kid working for the government is going to be real fun. But that's part of my theory, at least, and this is just my opinion. Mom takes care of them and makes sure that they get the things that they need, and Dad's responsibility is to train them to leave.
Billy! Billy!
What was that?
I don't know.
Again, you do that, and people come up to me, and it's fine because I own that. I mean, that's part of who I am. But mostly it's been people that just knew me for when I was in elementary and middle school call me like that because, my best friend at the time, his name was Bill. My dad was Bill. My grandfather was Bill. So, just logical that...
what do you like, Bill or Billy Baker better?
They're both fine. I mean, you make fun of it and kind of try to make it derogatory thinking it bothers me. But
Are you getting your feelings hurt right now?
No, absolutely not. I've been Billy Baker since I was 5.
One of the things that Baker has, I grew up with all these relatives as Baker knows almost every one of them, okay? And everybody kind of talks really kind of nasty to each other on a regular basis and makes fun of each other. Yeah. And if you have
that's the region in the 70s,
exactly.
Baby.
And really, Baker and I have continued on that tradition for 48 years of just talking nasty to each other. And I got to give it to you because I can get pretty nasty. Not once have you gotten your feelings hurt. Neither have I, though. I don't have feelings, so those are hard to hurt.
Well, plus I know if I show a little bit of blood in the water, you're gonna get shark all over that, man. I mean, it'll be lead for every time I come on.
Talking about that?
Let's go with that. Let's do a half hour on it. And then I won't have to come to the radio, and then it's the whole thing. It's not worth it. Because you only have a limited amount of things that you can process with your brain that's only open for what?
Wampum.
An hour? Berkeley Commune.
Wampum. What'd you say? I said, wow, I'm sorry. I lost my train of wampum thought. All right, let's go to Carpenter's local 599 phone line. And we're talking to a guy that goes by the name of Lefty. Lefty, how are you?
Good. What's up, Jed? What's up, Baker?
Lefty, how's it going? Happy Monday, man.
Friday.
What about Friday?
What happened to you Friday night?
Friday night? Oh, I went and listened to the governor talk.
You were there? I didn't see you.
I was there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, it was a good speech. I thought he did a good job. And then, Dave called earlier. I came out after getting my car washed. I came out of that event, went out there, and it was like, man, somebody came over and just blew dust and, a little sprinkle of water all over the car. So I'm getting old like that, Lefty, to the point where, I'm trying to gauge when I wash the car. D-Lo, don't you have a car wash sponsor? Maybe I should ask you, Ryan.
Easy Clean. I got a whole bunch of free things.
Really? Well, I like one. Well, maybe
Welcome.
do a segment where it's time to go wash the car, where you have a couple of days before it rains, you know? I mean, because it's notorious. It's like if I don't bring the umbrella, it rains, or the whatever line I get at the grocery store. Anyway, I digress. So it was, what'd you think of the event? There was a lot of people.
Where was
there.
it at?
It was at the Halls of St. George.
What was it?
It was a fundraiser for the Lake County Republicans Lincoln Day dinner.
Oh, okay. I've been to that.
It was quite the event.
What'd you think, Lefty?
It wasn't as good as they were before. I liked it better when I guess it was Kim Cole, was that her name, was running it with I mean that rhino that was up there with Governor. He looks like a mortician, like he's ready to go.
What about the Rokita Braun thing at the beginning? I thought that was about as region-esque as you can get. Were you there for that?
What happened? They were both there?
Yes, I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
I won't go with Rokita. I think Braun would be a better candidate.
It's not what he asked you, by the way. I mean, did you not listen, or what are you doing? You eating a Snickers bar?
I didn't listen to that in the beginning. I wasn't there for that one there.
What were you doing?
Talking with a couple of people at the table.
Really? Who were you talking? What were you talking about?
Just talk in general about the Republicans, about them rhinos that they got in Lake County, that how they should do the right thing.
What?
You know, but the money that they raise over here, how much are they going to help the Republicans over here instead of sending it downstate?
Well, why would they have Republicans around here that can never get elected? Why not just take the money out of here and from Republicans and just take it downstate where they can get elected?
You know, nobody seems to help. Just like George Janik, he almost beat McDermott that one time. But who was there to help him?
Nobody.
That's right, nobody.
Would you have rather had George Janik or Tom McDermott as mayor?
I think George Janik would be a little bit better mayor than McDermott.
Why?
I don't know anymore. I think he drank the Kool-Aid.
All right. Well, I don't know. You're not giving us anything today. You're like being so politically correct. So.
Okay.
I think our question. I think our phone calls are. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Who is this, Ryan? I don't even know. All right. Hey, we'll be right back. AM 1230. We got all these political
finish my
ads.
Snickers.
I'm gonna finish my Snickers. That's exactly why we're taking a break here. Too bad.
I'm Peter Kadick for North Township Board. Vote for strong experience. Endorsed by Mayor McDermott, the Northwest Indiana Building Trades Council and unions, and numerous precinct organizations. The best is yet to come. Paid for by Kadick for North Township Board Committee.
Loyalty, hard work, self-reliance, genuineness, and gratitude. These values make us who we are. They're here in Indiana, and they're here in Indiana's grocery store, Strachan Van Til. We're proud to serve the people who have put us at the heart of their neighborhoods. We're dedicated to the Indiana values we share and to providing an experience that will make you dedicated to us. Strachan Van Til is Indiana's grocery store, and we're Indiana made.
Ironworkers Local 395, through their contractor employers, the Northwest Indiana Contractors Association, are the workers you see building Northwest Indiana. They are the craftsmen building your schools, hospitals, malls, steel mills, and manufacturing plants. They support local charities, including Tradewinds and Chasing Dreams, and they coach your kids after work and on the weekend. They live, work, and contribute to all of our local communities' economic growth. To find out more about these organizations, visit ironworkers395.com or nwicontractors.org.
On May 8th, vote for Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz for Lake County Clerk of Circuit Courts. Andrew is a qualified Democrat and has 12 years of experience as a councilman in Maryville at every facet of government. Make your vote count with Andrew Silvestrowitz for Clerk of Circuit Courts. Paid for by Committee to Elect Democrat Andrew Silvestrowitz.
I am Andrew Silvestrowitz, and I approve this message.
Good morning, everybody. AM 1230, WJOB in Hammond, Indiana. Let's take a look at traffic brought to you by our good friends at Napleton River Oaks Honda. If you're looking to buy a car, why don't you start right there? 294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford is bad from 115th to about 95th. And other than that, it's actually lighter than normal. So is it going into Jane Byrne. But it's still, if you don't drive it that often, you're going to be in stop and go. And Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65 are all moving along pretty well. And let's take a look at weather. And this is the good news today. It's a beautiful day on tap. It's right now still in the upper 30s in most areas, but it should get considerably warmer in a hurry. 39 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. And going up to 73, it's 41 degrees out on the Porter County side now at Local 395. Local 697, it's 40 degrees. At 41 in Munster, it is 39 degrees, and it is 39 degrees at Local 599 in Hammond. Those four main construction unions, I want to thank all four of them. 697 is with the NECA contractors, and they have all stepped forward to take a stand here for me here at WJOB, and I appreciate it. Of course, they come out of the laborers union, and all these other unions know that, and they've somehow been able to erase any just local differences and come together, and I appreciate it. And don't forget, on Saturday, there is the Derby Fest from 3:30 until 8. You coming, Baker? On Saturday, the Derby thing again? You went last year. I wasn't listening. The Derby party we went to last year.
Oh, at the airport?
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to go? Well, why don't you think about it, okay? Why don't you act just a little bit less enthused, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the second annual Derby Fest, and it's brought to you by NISA. I got tickets. You can get tickets from Steve Shekel, the chief of police over at Munster.
Hey,
and we're trying to build a center at the Gary Airport to make us more competitive nationally by having a major catastrophe/emergency response center. And we're getting a lot closer. But they open up an airplane hangar and 500 people go in. It's one of the better parties in the region. Baker and I had a lot of fun last year there, didn't we? Remember that? Remember I almost got into a fist fight with Jerry Tippy?
No, you didn't.
He came up and called me fake news. I'm like, Jerry, you and I get along. You can't do that to people you get along with, okay? That's not how it works. And then he said, I was just
going to call you buzzkill, and then you got mad. So now he knows it flips your switch. So why I would keep
call
going
me fake
there.
news. I don't even care, but I brought people there.
You want everybody to learn what Jimmy gets upset about. So call
fake
him
news.
In and
fake news. What do you mean? I invested my whole life in this. Anyways,
there you go.
219-845-1100. What's going on in your world? I just would like to hear it. Baker, what do we need to talk about? We got 10 minutes here. What's going on? The elections are coming up. And, I want to talk about over here at Purdue, they took one of the racquetball courts and they put in the nicest training facility in anywhere in the area other than the Dome up in, Westchester or whatever, Westmont or something.
I heard you talking about it.
Yeah.
Did you use it or just walk by and wave at it? Like the gym.
I got this unofficial capacity with Purdue. I tell them, I don't want to be on anything. I don't want to sign up for anything. I'll teach a class, but so.
What do you mean unofficial? You're about as in as you
move on.
You're about as in as you can.
I'm not on the board. I'm on one board.
You're a government employee,
and that was one of the things I was thinking. I'm like, there's really nothing here that is exigent that I would have. Exigent circumstances. Until they showed me that training facility. All I was thinking is Baker and I could come in here for an hour and a half and just hit balls.
That'd be nice.
And just hit. And then evidently I don't have a key yet, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Just relax, will you? Okay? Sometimes you just got to slide into things, you know what I mean?
What, there's no back door?
It's a racquetball court, you idiot. They don't have back doors.
That's why you're never getting in.
Yes, exactly. Okay, you got a good point. And also, this Saturday is going to be the Hard Hat outing. If you still want to get in it, they're trying to make some money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Boys and Girls Club, the Down Syndrome Association of Northwest Indiana, and Chasing Dreams. Bill Baker will be playing this year. The registration's at 7:30. The shotgun start is at 9 a.m. I usually get out there right at 7:30. I'll be out there till about 10. And then Alexis is giving the commencement for Purdue Northwest, so I won't be playing. Baker and I were actually going to get to play in this, but Alexis gives 2 commencements at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m.
You have to watch both of them? Are they the same speech?
Don't act like that.
Are they the same
because
speech?
I acted like that. It didn't go over really well. So, all right, honey.
Hey, Alexis. So that's kind of how that works, though. One of the best things you have as a husband, and I think I can speak for all husbands, is one of the best things that you know how to do is really annoy the crap out of your wife.
And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, hey, me and Baker playing golf with Tom Gostecki maybe.
It
And
might be nice
and
out.
it might be nice out. And, like, all right, so
Empty
do I have
nesters.
to, honey, do I have to see 2 of these commencements, or can I maybe come just to the second one and play golf all day? And that didn't go over very well, but I knew you were thinking the same way. You know what, Baker? This is going to get me in trouble.
with what your wife does.
I go, look at I got all my clients here
There
are
you
going
go,
to
it's
be at
work.
this, and she didn't buy it. She's like, what? You're going to play with the union guys? Like you couldn't go play golf with them any other day? Anyways, it's not going to work. But it's a hard hat outing on Saturday at Whitehawk, and you guys can still get in if you have anything to do with union or union construction, especially. Any of the building trades, you're going to want to be there and play, or at least buy a sign or something like that. Bill Baker, construction season starting along the roads.
Man, like I mentioned earlier, I took I-65 down to Indianapolis. I went to Muncie with my wife to see, my son Alex, who's at Ball State, and pick some stuff up because it's finals, and he's going to be coming home. So obviously he's living in an apartment now. But anyway, I digress. Anybody that says that the roads in Indianapolis are better than the region hasn't been down there. I mean, awful.
I agree with you on that.
Just awful.
Especially that northeast side.
So
wait, you went down to Indy and then went up.
So, and I had all these conversations with everybody I knew that had kids that went to Muncie, and people that graduated from Ball State, and on how to get there. And it's to the person. There's no easy way to
24.
get there. No, I mean, and then you do that if you're in that, and then the guy in the combine gets on the 2-lane road. I mean, it's just not a good thing. So I always elect to go fast.
Here's what happens when Baker gets behind a slow driver.
And I'm really working on that, and I'm trying, and she was just getting mad at me again. I'm like, and then there's always the one, it's the D-Lo driver, I call him, that always is not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you're passing him, and then they decided, oh, I wasn't paying attention, let me go fast now. And then get next to the truck, and I've never seen a truck before, so let me go in right next to the truck and go the same speed. And that's notorious for I-65, so I was really, really trying not to get in that. But I've come up with a new shot, so I'm getting older. I try, so I actually will just slow down sometimes, or I'll just now get off and make a pit stop, just if it gets to be a little too competitive. Let's put it.
What do you think about the way they have this construction on Indianapolis Boulevard right here in
I did
Highland?
that yesterday.
That is, they've kind of put some dirt down, but they had opened up the middle of it, and it was just a big gaping hole. Even my nephew Jack and I were driving by, and he's like, Uncle Jim, that looks kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it does.
Good thing we have some Purdue engineers working on that, right? Because there's a big hole. It's like a donut, and you're driving on the two columns.
Driving on the two columns.
I hope those aren't being replaced, too.
Jack's like, well, how do they rip out the road and just leave half of it and it doesn't fall down like the other part? And I'm like, Jack beats the Sam Hill out of me, man.
Engineering school, man.
Yeah, exactly. But they did, and they were able to rebuild it up. But that thing's going to be till November. And it really has, it gets bad at certain points, but where you can feel it is on Kennedy Avenue, and you can feel it on Calumet. In other words, most of the longtime region rats are like, I ain't even going near that.
No.
And I'll tell you what, Kennedy and 45th and Calumet and 45th are just horrible right now.
But we've been talking about north-south in the region for lots of years now, and this is going to be another example as they keep moving more and more retail down at Main and 41. Now, hopefully with this bridge, it isn't just fix the bridge, but this is, again, Indiana and the region, so they're just going to fix it. They're not going to, improve it because, of course, there's not nearly the same amount of traffic on it that there was 40 years ago when it was built. So there's going to be just the same amount of capacity. It's just going to be a new structure so it doesn't collapse, which, it's a good thing. I appreciate the fact that they're doing that. But, it's never going to be something I see in our lifetime, Jimmy, ever improving is the congestion
North-south.
Absolutely, from that overpass to US 30. It's just going to get continually worse. And that's just, how it is, especially if more and more business and retail, locates around the boulevard because they like being on high traffic thoroughfares. And, people know how to get there and they know where it is. And, hey, we're over by Meyer, over by, Dick's. And, that's kind of how that, setup works. But, you and I know that that's always been a challenge. And for some of the groups that I have an opportunity to at least have a discussion with, I keep bringing up the fact that that's not going to get any better, having Calumet, the Boulevard, and I-65 being your primary north-south thoroughfares between US 30 and the Borman. You can possibly say Broadway, but, you'd have to really work on that as well, and nobody seems to want to try to improve that aspect of it, but I think we're all going to be better off because if the train comes, everything will be resolved.
He's Bill Baker. Thanks for coming in. Hey, hold on a second. This will end our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Go ahead and end that because I want to play a little bit